What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be going over my top 5 bosses in Bloodborne. Recently we've gone through the game again, across 3 different streams on the channel. If you have missed those, you can check them out, they're probably uploaded by now. And it just reminded me of how much I really enjoy the game, and I do plan on doing a lot more content around Bloodborne. Primarily, obviously I'll be covering a lot of Souls-like stuff for the foreseeable future, but for now, Bloodborne is my favourite, and I do want to do a lot more with it. I'm still trying to figure out what it's going to be, but for now, we're going to do a top 5 bosses video. I'll try to kind of even it out across the main game and the DLC. That'll be based on not really the difficulty of them, even though that does have a factor in it, but more of like their design, the area you're fighting them in, the soundtrack and stuff like that, and kind of like the memory I have doing it. So I'm basing it off of that. It's not like a top 5, like 5 worst, number 1 the best. Like, these are my top 5 favourite bosses in the game, so it's not like a ranking in order, it's just here's the 5 I like the most. So if you agree with my list, be sure to leave a like. If you have a different list, be sure to let me know who it is and why. And without any further ado, let's jump into number 5.
Beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them, sooner or later.
Now this might be a shocker to some people, but number 5 is going to be Father Gascoigne. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Someone please try and help me pronounce that name, because I never have been able to. I know, first boss in the game, first actual main boss in the game, you would think was on number 5 list. And let me tell you a story. So my first ever experience with a Souls game was Bloodborne. You know, I didn't play Dark Souls when I was in my kind of like mid-teens. And when Bloodborne came out, the tone of it interested me so much, and I knew what it was. I knew it was like a Dark Souls game, and I was like, I wonder if they're as hard as everyone says they were, because I didn't really pay attention to it, didn't really kind of, not that I didn't enjoy them, like, I've definitely seen people play them before and like, oh my god, this looks really hard, but I never really kind of had an interest in Dark Souls until after I played Bloodborne. So Bloodborne was my entry point, and I remember this being my first game in the kind of genre, you could say now. And this guy gave me trouble for a long time. A long time. And, you know, I think looking back at it, you know, the first time I beat him, I lost my mind. Like, Cleric Beast wasn't, obviously that's the boss before this and it's completely optional. Didn't really give me an issue, but this guy teared me to pieces. And I will say, nothing quite satisfies you more than a boss that's been whipping your ass the entire game, and you finally beat it. And that's why it's on the list, because that first feeling of beating a boss that was destroying you is just something else. Next up we have the Orphan of Kos. Again, a fantastic boss fight in general. The DLC is incredible. The DLC really does make the game complete. The game was already good enough, and then when the DLC came out and when I got a chance to play it, I was like, holy shit, this is good too. Like, it was just such a good DLC. ended on such a strong note. This boss kicked my ass so much. I'll tell you a different story about the boss in a minute, but this boss is just something else. When I first started playing the game like fully, a friend of mine and me went through the entire game in co-op, just to play something together. And we ripped through the main game fairly easily, not many issues. We got through all the chalice dungeons, again, fairly easy. A few little kind of nooks in the way, but nothing too much. And then when we came to the DLC, it was going fine. Obviously the way the co-op works is you join someone's area, someone's world, up to the boss of that area you're in, and then when the boss is dead, the person who joined leaves. And then what we did, we'd basically do an area on one of our saves and then switch so that the host was the other guy, and then we do it again. And we did this all the way through the main game, all the way through the DLC, and then when we got to Orphan on his save, we absolutely breezed it. No issue whatsoever, didn't die, killed him fairly quickly, but then, for some strange reason that even now we can't explain, and this is why it's such a good memory for me, this boss specifically, aside from the difficulty and just how cool it looks, and how it ends the DLC so well, but we couldn't figure out what was going on. Like, it took us multiple attempts to beat this guy on my save. We had no idea what the difference it was. Obviously we had the same builds, and we just died. Like, one of us was always dying, and it was like, what has happened here? And it was something else. The boss fight itself is incredible. I love the design of him. It's pretty grim, like, if you look at it, and how his weapon itself is just alright. It's incredible. It's such a good way to end the DLC. Bloodborne's DLC was probably one of the better DLCs for a Souls game, in my opinion. It's up there with the Ring of City from Dark Souls 3. Again, I love that DLC. But this one was truly something. And again, the experience I had with it was such a memorable time.
Should be left well alone. Oh, I know very well how the secrets beckon so sweetly. Only an honest death will kill you now. Protect you from your wild curiosity.
What can I say? Did you really think she wouldn't make the list of best bosses in the game? Absolutely incredible boss. The thing with these games, and it is present across Dark Souls, it's present in Sekiro, it's present in Bloodborne. The humanoid enemies you fight are usually, for me, the more enjoyable fights, because it's not this towering monster that can kind of like hit you with its ridiculous hitboxes, or that you get so stuck into a wall with you can't see yourself anymore. Humanoid bosses just work so well in these games. You know, there's plenty of examples out there. You know, Lady Maria in this game. You've got, again, Father Gascoigne, German, and then Dark Souls, you've got Artorias, you've got Sister Fried. You know, all these bosses exist, and they're so well done. And she is no exception. She has 3 different phases. The first phase is kind of like a normal phase with the swords and guns. Then she has like the long-ranged swords with like the blood attacks coming off them, which looks super cool. And in the third phase, you have the blood swords, as well as them staying on fire as well. It is insane. Again, soundtrack is amazing. The arena is massive, which obviously is kind of needed for the amount of range her attacks do have. And she's just all around really cool to look at. The boss fight is just incredible. Like, it's so well done. And the best part about this DLC with this boss fight is because it comes immediately after the Living Failures, I think. And if you're playing co-op, which again, me and a friend of mine were at the time, you can't co-op this boss because it's immediately after a boss and it's in the same arena. So you have to solo her. So we both had the experience of fighting her at exactly the same time. And that was just, both of us taking her out in different ways, which is so cool. The reaction to both of us fighting her at the same time was awesome. The memories I've made on these games is honestly ridiculous. Like, whether it's with someone or on my own, I have many a story to tell about Dark Souls games and Souls games in general, and this is definitely one of the best ones I have.
Please help us. An unsightly beast. The great terror looms. Have mercy upon us.
Next up, Ludwig. Ludwig is again a DLC boss. I have more DLC bosses in this list than main game bosses. Not that the main game bosses are not good, there is plenty of them that are good, but in terms of memory and all-round enjoyment of bosses I have, a lot of them are from the DLC. But Ludwig, there's so much going on in this fight that's not even part of the fight that I want to talk about, that just makes this boss fight so much better. For example, the fact that fire, I believe this is true, I've read it somewhere and I have kind of briefly tested it, it does seem to be the case. Fire paper doesn't really do as much damage to him in his second phase. And apparently what causes this is when he realises that the sword is with him, he kind of regains some humanity, although he's like this horrible beast at this point. He kind of regains some humanity, and obviously he's still on two legs, he's using the sword, and the ailments no longer do an effect to him. Apparently that's a thing. If that is the case and that is true, it seems like it is. That's super cool. As well as that, the kind of, he sets you up at the end of the fight for a visceral. And I believe, I actually don't know if this is true, but I have read it around multiple times. If you use the visceral to kill him, he'll die and have like a humane moan when he dies. If you don't do that and just hit him, he'll make it the noise of an animal when he dies. Apparently it's something to do with if you visceral him, it's like an honorable death. And if you don't, it's like slaughtering a beast or something like that. Apparently that's a thing. Not 100% sure if it's true. I've heard it many a time. But the transition from the first phase to the second phase is incredible. The Moonlight Sword, as always in these games, just looks amazing. And you do get to use it after the fact, which makes the boss fight so much more worth doing. Obviously it's a forced boss, so you have to do it anyway. And he is up there as a very 50-50 boss. Like, some people think he's really, really difficult, some people think he's super easy, or just kind of a standard fare. But let me know what you think. I quite enjoyed the fight. He did whip my ass a couple times trying to beat him, but I did get it down eventually. Again, fantastic boss. And that leads me to the final boss on the list. I wonder if anyone can guess what it is. And at number 1 we have Marta. Marta is an incredible boss fight. I think it's great. His moveset is awesome. The arena. Don't even get me started on the arena. Okay, Canehurst is fucking incredible. It is a secret area that you can only kind of get to if you find a certain item and then go to a certain place in the game. If you don't know how to do that, be sure to do it. Look up how to do it. and there'll be plenty of guides out there that will tell you how to do it. It's very simple. If you haven't done this area before, I will not spoil anything before the boss fight. It is truly incredible. It looks amazing. One thing I really like in Souls games that doesn't appear often is a snowy environment. And in games in general, really, snowy environments like this always look super nice. And the whole area is just incredible, and it's beautiful to look at. Marta has given me issues in solo as well as co-op with a friend. He's just a pain in the ass to beat at times. Especially on New Game Pluses and stuff, he's so much harder. But I think he looks incredible. His moveset's really cool. I really like the sword attack he does, where it kind of like throws swords at you, and you have to like kind of destroy that totem thing to get rid of it. Again, slightly humanoid type boss fight. Obviously, he's a little bit tall, but again, like I said, the humanoid boss fights in these type of games is always more preferred to me. I don't dislike the monster bosses at all. I just kind of prefer these human/human fights. They're a lot more present in Sekiro over anything else, I think. And Sekiro for me is again a brilliant game. And there's a video coming out about Sekiro within the week as well, so be sure to look out for that. But Marta is just incredible. The area he's in is incredible. Again, the soundtrack for all these enemies are amazing. I love the soundtrack in the Souls type games. They're all really well done. Makes it feel really cinematic. You know what I mean? Especially when it's going well. If you're getting beat down, it's not very cinematic. But if you're doing well, it definitely is. But yeah, that is my list. Do let me know if you agree with any of my choices. If you have any different ones, again, be sure to let me know and let me know why. But yeah, I just wanted to throw a video out like this because I want to do more Bloodborne content as and when I can, and I want to start with something like this. I might do a worst bosses in the game video as well, just to kind of tell you which ones I don't really like or enjoy over others. But maybe that'll come if I get bored one day, because I don't really see the point in doing the worst bosses in the game, because why would I talk about something I didn't really particularly like? But maybe you're interested to know. So do let me know. Again, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Resident Evil, Souls-like and horror content. We upload every single day and stream every weekend, so it's always a good time. And I'll see you all tomorrow for a brand new video.